and welcome back to part 3. While I'm waiting for parts, I might as well just carry on diddling around a little bit. So what I thought I'd do, bit of really fine wire wool and start cleaning all this up, just giving it a clean up, get all this old lacquery stuff off, and then we'll clean it up, polish it up a bit, try and make it look a bit brighter than what it does. So mainly I'm just going to be cleaning till I get parts. So anyway, thanks to the new subscribers. Tag along, leave a comment. I don't bite, and let's see where we can go with this bike. I'm not looking for a total restoration. I still don't know what I'm going to do with it. I may even drop that engine out in the end and put something different in. Different exhaust, I just don't know yet. We'll just play it by ear and see where this one goes. So I've had a little play and cleaned that up somewhat. Looks a lot better than what it did. A nice shine to it now. Just heated that up to get that nut off for the heat shield. And there's the next one. What I'll do, I'll get the gas on it, get it as hot as possible, and see if we can get that free. Then I might work onto these to get this heat shield off. Just generally going around, just doing little bits. Anyway, I had a troll, my first troll. I'm proud. That was moaning that I didn't tell him exactly where I get all my parts from. Well, for the troll, I actually use eBay, Facebook Marketplace. I get me arse out of bed. I go to Bike Auto Jumbles, word of mouth. So you've just got to get yourself out there and look to try and find parts. Ask anybody who's in any of the forums if they've got any parts. But yeah, proud as punch, got a troll. Well, what have I been up to for the last couple of hours? Been messing, just cleaning up these, ready for when I want to repaint them. I've took the other shock off because it looks like that. We'll see if we can make it look a bit better. That looks a lot better now. Put the badge on, painted that, give the frame a bit of a clean. So at the minute we've got that shock off. It's over here, hold tight, and I'm just cleaning this up, and we'll clean all this up, and I reckon we'll just paint that, and obviously it's going to be a lot better than what it is now. So I'm just got the old wire brush and cleaning it all up and try and polish this bit up, and I'll show you when I've done it. Right then, I've had a diddle about, and there's a shock I've messed with, cleaned up, and as you can see, that's what it was like before. So I think we'll do the same to that one. Yeah, that looks loads better. And I got a visitor.
Hello everybody.
Bill's come to inspect me.
Oh yes, good paintwork again, Andy.
Yeah, it looks like we might be doing something funky with it the way it's going.
Yeah, looks really well, mate.
Yeah, it's looking...
Sounds nice as well, don't she?
Yeah, but there's a rattle in that engine I need to investigate, I reckon.
Well, you always take them apart anyway, don't you?
Yeah, I reckon down there, that flywheel's going to have to come off and check the cogs behind that, because they have a tendency to seize up, rip the teeth off, and I've got a noise coming from down there. So at some point that's coming off, and we'll have a look behind there. Right then, I'm going to have a cup of tea with Bill, and then we'll start on this one, get this one sorted. Well, there you go, that's the other one done. That looks alright. Just use a bit of that stuff and a bit of primer. There we go. Looks a lot better than what it did. So we'll just slip that back on after I've cleaned up the aluminium bits on it, and I'm sure that'll improve the bike no end. Well, it's time to investigate. There's definitely a noise coming from behind there. So I've whipped the nut off. All the threads in here are pretty grotty, so I'm trying to work this in there. Keep winding it in, out, washing it out, in, out, wash it out till I get it in properly. Then we're going to pull this off, and then the plate behind, and have a look, see what we can see. Yeah, it's bugging me. I know if I don't check it, it's going to come back and bite me on the arse. So we'll do that. I'll show you as we go along. Right, I pulled that off. You need the special tool for that locks in the threads and lets you pull that off. Now, what I want to look at is in behind here, there's the cam chain tensioner behind there, the oil pump drive, and that's what I want to look at to see if there's a problem there, and that's where the noise is coming from. So the next job is to undo these two down here and then pull that off, and then we'll be able to see what's behind there. So trying to get them out is normally a pain up the arse, but we'll see what happens. We've got to get them out so I know what's going on. Right then, managed to undo the two screws on there. They're really tight. I use the impact on them. For some reason they always are really tight. Anyway, inside there is what's behind there, and everything looks as it should. So at least I know the noise isn't coming from there. So the only thing I can do is just wait until something goes bang or something goes wrong with it. But I was convinced the noise was coming from there, but as you know, noises travel all around the engine. I've been round with a screwdriver listening, and maybe it's just the way it is. But we'll get that put back together and see what happens in the future. There we go, that's all slipped back together. That should all come apart nice and easy if it has to come apart again. While I've got the socket on, I've whipped this off, and I think I'll clean that up. Just get the wire brush on it, clean it up, repaint it, smarten it up a little bit. So that's where I'm going next. I'm happy that that's back together, and I know everything looked okay. So that's all you can do. Well, at the minute, all I'm doing is cleaning up stuff. You can see I've done that one. That has got to be done here. I've done the other one. That one's all cleaned up. That's lovely. But you try and get on with a bit of work. Oh, the other shock's done as well. All I'm doing is cleaning, wire brushing, and then all you get is more interference. Try and get on with the job, and people keep turning up. Anyway, let's crack on. Right then, Bill's been moaning as he normally does about the back wheel and the state of it.
Wants cleaning, doesn't it?
Wants cleaning, doesn't it? That's all you get. Oh, wants cleaning.
Well,
right then, so pull the back wheel out, and all you have to do is take these 3 out, which I've undone. Now if Bill does his bit, and that should lift off, so then we can start cleaning all this up and painting it, and then we can do the same with that, clean that up and polish it up a bit, and that will just smarten it up a little bit more. Right, so we got the wheel off and all the rest. Now all this here has got to be cleaned, painted, all this the same. What people don't appreciate is the amount of hours that will go into doing this. It's not a 5-minute job, as Bill said.
Well, there's 5 hours work, but you can't put that on the video, can you?
No, because
So people think, see you do it, take it off, but they don't realise how much work you put into them.
no, and that's the things that you don't see to make this look good. I'm not looking for a perfect restoration, just looking for a nice little bike to ride around on in the summer. So I'll show you some little bits when I start it, and then when I've finished with it, and you'll have some appreciation of the hours that will have to go into just doing this. But I really enjoy this part of doing the bikes, just the making it look better. Well, Houston, we have a problem. Look at that. That is actually my inner tube. So that's having me a bit of work. We're gonna have to get a new one of these from somewhere, or a second-hand one. But yeah, that's what we find when we do these sort of jobs. Obviously the bike's been sat and the water's just pooled here over the years and just rotted through. So saves me rubbing it all down. Well, that's the way it goes. Well folks, I've got a decision to make with this bike of where we go with it. The preliminary look round it is, it's worth doing, but the time it's going to take is going to be a long videos. Right, just looking at this lot, what I've got. I have got, and I've been knocking around with the idea for a while, because I actually picked this up last year. It's brand new sandblaster. I think it might be time to break that out, get some aggregate for it, some glass bead, and maybe use that on this bike. And I've got an oven that I was thinking about doing some powder coating with. So what do you reckon? We start using this stuff, put a bit of investment into it. It'll always come in for other bikes we're going to do. But it looks like this one is making the decision for me. If we're going to do it, then let's put some investment in and get the powder coater gun, the aggregate, and we have a go at that and see how we get on doing this bike with it. Frame, it looks like we're going to have to take this bike totally apart to do it. Maybe Bill will respray the frame, all the other bits I'll have to try and sort myself, but it looks like that's the way we're going to have to go with it. We'll have to wait and see. Right then guys, I did make that decision. Anyway, that's what we're working with. That's all horrible flaky paint and stuff. Right mess. So yes, I've got some aggregate or glass bead, whatever you want to call it, and that's what we've done with it. we've blasted it from what it was, like that, to that. Now all the components are all stripped and cleaned. So what I'm going to do next is mask up the bits on that, get it in primer, and we'll get some colour on it, which will smart it up no end. But yeah, I made the investment, got the sandblaster, and you can see in there, that's up and running now. That should make life a little bit easier. And we did get the powder coating gun, so we'll be having a go at that in a future video. We'll get the oven on and have a play around and see what happens. So I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get this in primer today, so I can get a top coat on it, leave it overnight. So primering, we all know how to do it. We'll just wash it down with some gum wash and get on with it. Right then, that's been cleaned, painted. Now I've just got to leave it to dry. Now if we can get that to look like that, I'll be well happy. So I'm going to strip the sprocket off it, take the push drive out, anything else that needs to come apart, so we can get it cleaned, and then we'll get it in the blaster. I think showing you blasting is just a waste of time. It's just blasting, it's noisy, and you can't really see much. So if you want to know about blasting, there's probably thousands of videos on it, and it's not worth me and your time showing you. As for the back wheel, we've got a problem still with that. They don't make them anymore. There's none available anymore. So we're going to have to come up with a cunning plan of getting it sorted. We're at the minute of struggling at the minute trying to get something sorted. As for the bike, I think we're going to work from back to front to clean it all up. And I think that'll be the best way to go with it. It's going to take a while. There's no parts for these cf70s, the 3-speed automatics. Everyone just goes, oh no, I can't get any bits for them. So we'll just have to be resourceful. Anyway, let's crack on. I'm going to get this apart, get it clean and get it blasted. Right then, I managed to get this all cleaned up and painted yesterday. It's had 24 hours, well, near enough, to cure off. What I want to do now is start reassembling this, otherwise you end up with so many bits all over the place. It's a bit hard to keep track of where you are on stuff. So for the person who commented, thank you for commenting about here. Well, as you can see, I was getting there. It's all done. And when I heated it up, the dust seal, it didn't touch it. It's still fine. So all this can be reassembled. We'll get it all back together and get the hub back together. And then we got the problem of the wheel, trying to sort that out. So this is just basic stuff. We'll just slip it all back together, so we're ready to start when we get the wheel sorted. Right guys and girls, that's all put back together now, reassembled. So problem we got is we've got no rim for it. So let me try and sort my cunning plan out. So yeah, that looks brilliant. Happy with that. Okay, right. Time for the cunning plan. I've bought this wheel. It's for a cf70. because you can't get these ones. The difference is these are 3-spoke, 3-hub to connect it, and on these it's a 4-hub. So my plan is to take this hub out, put the other hub in there, come off one of the holes here, and then re-drill the hub to suit the rim. That's the only way around it, because they're just non-existent to get. So what I'm going to do, we'll undo these, we'll pull that out, and we'll drop the other one in and have a look whether it'll work. So let me get these undone. Well, my plan will work, but I'm going to have to remove that one, then re-drill here and here, and then just re-put the other fixings back into the split rim. I think we'll get away with that. I think that'll work a treat. So I'll get these 2 out, put some more back into these so the rim stays as it is, re-drill it. Hopefully that'll do the job, and we've cured the problem. Okay then, that's fixed in one place. All the gaps, everything lines up. So if I just drill there and there, and then put some new bolts in the ones where it originally was, then I reckon Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and we'll have it sorted. There you go, all done. Everything lines up spot on. So what I'm going to do next is totally strip this down again. We'll get all this cleaned up and painted, and then we get it back together. The trouble with these hubs and wheels, they was only ever made, the rims, for 2 bikes, and I reckon all they'd done was use the same rim, just re-drilled different patterns of holes, where this rim fits 40 bikes. Sneaky Honda doing the usual trick, so you have to buy the right part. Well, it's the same part, just drilled different. So we'll get this all apart, get it cleaned up, get it painted, and that'll be the back wheel more or less finished. So that's it, start stripping again. Right, problem you have with these wheels is the tyres have been on that long, they actually weld themselves to the beading. So one of the easiest way is to cut the tyre off and then cut the bead, and it should come off. We're trying to separate them at the minute, it's no good. We're just going to have to cut the tyre off it. The tyre's no good anyway, it's screwed up, it's all cracked up, and there's a big hole in it. So we'll push on, cut the tyre off, and then we'll be able to separate the rest of it from the bead. Right then, we'll carry on. Right then, now you can see why you cut the tyre off. The tyre was no good anyway, but all this rust and stuff, this rubber and the steel band in there actually seizes to that, seizes to this. So what I've got to do is make some cuts now in it and try and cut the band, and then we'll be able to peel it off. But they're both the same, as you can see, they won't pop out. So that's the only way I've found that I can actually do them. So I'll get the grinder out and try and break the bead, and it should come off then. Right, you can see what I've done here. You have to cut these bands, they're still beading, to release. Once you do that, There you go. Get some light. Once you've done that, it'll actually come off. Otherwise, you'll be there for hours and hours trying to get it off. It won't come off. So that's how you do it. That's the best way. Well, that good plan I had has just backfired, kicked me up the arse. It turns out that this rim is knackered as well, that I've bought. So all that work has been a waste of time. So I'm going to have to contact the seller and tell them it's knackered, see if I can get my money back, and see if I can find one from somewhere else. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up for now. Thanks for watching, thanks to the new subscribers. Thumbs up, thumbs down, either way it helps. So I'm down, I'm gone.